Woohoo! Oh, yeah. So, this is our second unveiling, unmolding of the crystals and clusters, drusies. So, as you know, these are the molds that I made the other day out of my crystal cluster and druzy collection. And the first time we poured was to get all the dirt out of the molds because my crystals were like right out of the mountain, some of them. So, um, the first pour pulled all the stuff out of the silicone molds, and now this is the unveiling of the second actual pouring, and we're gonna get busy right away. So this was the Marvelous Blue. It's a unreleased paste color from Epoxy Candy, and I've been referring to it as Marvelous Blue each time I have used it and tested it out. And it really is such a beautiful color. So we're going to take it out of the mold. This was the mold we made off of the big amethyst crystals. So I see the same thing is happening. I'm getting these little white areas off the mold. Okay, so I think what parts of the mold that was where the mold tore. So what I think I'm going to do is tonight I'm going to try re-pouring a mold over that crystal. And this time, instead of waiting 2 hours and removing the mold, I'm going to leave it on overnight and see if we get a better result where we don't get this extra little bit that I have to take the time and clean out. However, the color's beautiful. And I still like it, even though I have to do a little bit of cleanup. My goal in making these was just to have the crystal tips, because I have projects in mind that I'm going to be using these for. So I specifically wanted just the tips of the crystals, because on the amethyst, that's really all that you're going to get anyway. Okay, so the second amethyst mold, I see that satin leakage from the little druzy mold over there. That's okay. So I use the copper paste by Epoxy Candy. You know, I don't think this one was released either, but it said copper on the bag. So again, the mold's coming off nicely, came off perfectly, really looks pretty. And of course it looks a little more brilliant than it does through the camera lens. It's a nice, beautiful, bright copper. Looks like sparkles when you look at it up close. I don't know. I don't think my camera will get a decent shot. But it's much more copper here than it is on the camera result. Okay, so then we took a squirt of the Dylusions water-based ink spray and put it in. I had tried a drop or two of the black Dr. Martens ink, and I had some of the black Just Resin glitter, and I was trying to do a black theme, but the paper cup, absorbed the black coloring. So instead of reopening more, I just decided to squirt that purple in there and just say, what the heck. And in this molding, I used, I'm going to clean off that mold right away. I used a little bit of the leftover spruce crystal shimmer. So I ended up putting that inside there. That had a teeny bit of teal holographic in it. And then it covered up most of that maroonish purple with the black glitter, which wasn't going to look so great, I didn't think. But we'll know on the next one because the next one is just pure colored like that. And since these druzy molds are not perfect, you can just take scissors and cut them away. And of course I can cut them down too, but I'd rather have a little more mold to have sitting there than less mold. But I have to say, these little druzy molds are adorable. I like them. And that's really all that matters, because these are projects I will be making. And if I sit that on top, it's still pretty dark because that's a little dense. Very pretty. I love how they sparkle. Okay, so moving on, we have spruce green shimmer tint. That's those Swarovski crystal, and I put like I said, I put a little bit of the teal holographic colored glitter in with this one. So this mold is nice, doesn't give me any problems. So I am noticing just on the mold itself and how I can see the part of the mold in there that looks dull to me, and I see like a dull spot here. So I can always cut that part out of the mold and just use this part of the mold if I just want pure sparkles, or I can have a two-tone. I guess that's that's like more realistic looking. But it's very pretty. It says spruce green, but it's like a dark teal. Very pretty. Okay, so we're going to look at this was the black glitter, and then I put a squirt of the grape in there. And what it looks like to me is it turned it brown. The grape with, I don't know if you could see that, the grape with a little bit of, I had some of the black in there at first. So that's very interesting. Ultimately, it came out looking like chocolate. But if you look on the light, you'll see that it was a maroonish color. But where it has become opaque and dense, it looks like a chocolate brown color. So it's very interesting. But the sparkle is what I'm looking at and what I'm very happy about, that I was able to capture all the sparkles in the molding process. So that's really awesome. So these are all the little molds that they came out of. And we have 3 more. These are the cluster molds. And I forgot to tape these last night, so you could see, if you look, the mold, the resin went into the crack area, but it did not leak out. But that's easy enough to trim off and sand down. So I have to pull this cluster out to loosen it up a little. And again, I'm new to this, so my fingers are not used to this. Okay. Mold looks fine inside. And again, these were experiments where I'm experimenting with different colors. So on this little extra that hangs over, just clip them and then come back with either a razor knife. Let me see if I could pull it with my finger. Yeah, I could pretty much pull that off. I'd rather do that than grab a razor knife. And there was a little bit of that on that side, and it's off. Let's sit that on top of the light. So you can see on the edges, that's the color that it went in. And then on the dense parts. So it's like a darker teal. Again, it's very pretty. And of course, on anything that's not shiny and is frosted on these, I can glaze them. I can paint either a layer of resin over them or shoot them with a little glaze, and they're going to be nice and smooth. So we're going to do the copper. I put copper in this other little cluster. Oh. And that mold looks great. It sounds like the fire alarm's going off in town. Wow. So on this one, I poured clear down into the top of it first. And I poured clear up into about this, let's see if I can get that, just about till this level. So when I did pour the copper in for the base, just messing around, it did go down into the clear, but it's still, we still got clear looking crystals. And then like the copper, a copper base. I like it. I think it came out pretty dang cool. So if you could see that, it looks like real crystals. Yes, I like that. And again, one more. This is the short, flat one. And it came out looking like chocolate. Looks awful yummy. Let me just trim that a little. So this is the one that original, see there's more silicone that broke off the mold. So when I originally took the mold off, it's really stuck badly to the crystal. I'll show you which one this was. This was the one. See all the silicone that stuck to that? You could see. So that's what these other little pieces of the mold are, is where the mold broke away. That's so funny. That looks like chocolate. Well, now I know how to make a chocolate color anyway. That's pretty wild. So this mold isn't the best mold that I could have made, but we don't know until we try. So I can't wait to get that crystal cleaned up again. That one I handpicked. I handpicked this off the Broad Mountain 25 years ago. Yes, I did. So that is all the crystal molds. This was the second unmolding for them. Probably tonight I'm going to try some more colors. I will try using multiple colors inside. Everyone's going crazy out there right now. And this was a bracelet mold that I poured some of the extra in, so it's not filled up yet. So maybe tonight I'll have some more to pour in there. And then I did a pendant with the leftover copper. Might as well open this up while we're here. So what I do is I pull the sides back, and this one had been trimmed because it was so hard to get off. And I take the squirt bottle, and I bend it back, and I shoot some alcohol in there, or you could use water. Here come the fire trucks. This should, oh, there it goes. And there is a copper pendulum. Remember, I put the toothpick in the center to get the air bubble out, so I have a nice point on there. Very important to do that. And it's important, like I shove a toothpick down into this mold, trying to push any air bubbles out of the holes. And by the time you get the resin in there, you can't see what you're doing with the holes, so you're pretty much guessing. So I think I love them. I am gonna, I still have a half a bottle of each of the mold material, the smooth on. So I'm gonna redo the big amethyst, leave that sit overnight, and see if I get a better peel off with that. And I might do a couple more little druzy shapes, because I really love those little sparkling crystals. So thanks for watching. That was our second pour. This was the first one that we did to basically clean out the molds, which they still looked pretty fantastic from cleaning out the molds. So these are our first two pours in the molds that we made, and I'm very happy with it. Of course, it's not perfect, but everything takes a little bit of work. So I really, really appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Our next giveaway's at 200. I believe I'm at 172 subs, so not far to go. And like and comment. Commenting is very important. So I appreciate your comments and your likes and your shares and your subs and your attention and definitely your time. Make something beautiful. Rock on. Ciao, peeps.